You obviously don't have that dream in your collection. I do not, the BFG said, but I could soon be mixing it up. How could you mix it up? It's a little bit like a cake, the BFG said. If you was putting the right amounts of all the different things into it, you is making the cake come out any way you want. Sugary, spongy, currantly, Christmassy or gobswitchy. It's the same with dreams. Go on, Sophie said. I has zillions of dreams on my shelves. Right or left? Right, said Sophie. I has dreams about bathtubs, lots of them. I has dreams about silver wings. I has dreams about flying. So all I have to do is mix them together in the proper way. And I'm very quickly making a dream where you was flying in a bathtub with silver wings. I see what you mean, Sophie said, but I didn't know that you could mix one dream with another. Dreams like being mixed, the BFG answered. That's why that they are getting very lonesome all by themselves in these glassy bottles. Ah, right, said Sophie. Now then, do you have dreams about the Queen of England? Lots of them, the BFG said. And about giants? Of course, the BFG said. And about giants eating people? Squiggles of them, the BFG said. And about little girls like me? Those is the commonest of them all, the BFG said. I has bottles and bottles of dreams about little girls. And you could mix them all up just as you want to, Sophie asked, getting more and more excited. Of course, the BFG said. But how is this helping us? I think you is barking up the wrong dog. Now hold on, said Sophie. Listen carefully. I want you to mix a dream which will you will blow into the Queen of England's bedroom when she is asleep. And this is how it will go. Now, hang on a minute, the BFG said. How was I possibly going to get near enough to the Queen of England's bedroom to blow in my dream? You is talking dumb silly. I'll tell you that later, Sophie said. For the moment, please listen carefully. Here is the dream I want you to mix. Are you paying attention? Very close, the BFG said. I want the Queen to dream that 9 disgusting giants, each one about 50 foot tall, are galloping to England in the night. She must dream their names as well. What are their names again? Flesh Lump Eater, the BFG said, Man Hugger, Bone Cruncher, Child Chewer, Meat Dripper, Gizzard Glubbler, Maid Mashler, and Blood Bottler, and the Butcher Boy. Let her dream all of those names, Sophie said, and let her dream that they will be creeping into England in the depths of the witching hour and snatching little boys and girls from their beds. Let her dream that they will be reaching into the bedroom windows and pulling the little boys and girls out of their beds, and then, Sophie paused. Do they eat them on the spot or do they carry them away first, she asked. These are usually just popping them straight into their mouths like popcorn, the BFG said. Put that in the dream, Sophie said, and then the dream must say when their tummies are full that they would go galloping back to Giant Country where no one can find them. Is that all, the BFG said. Certainly not, Sophie said. You must then explain to the Queen in her dream that there is a big friendly giant who can tell her where all of these beasts are living, so that she can then send her soldiers and armies to capture them once and for all. And now let her dream one last and very important thing. Let her dream that there is a little girl called Sophie sitting on the windowsill who will tell her where the big friendly giant is hiding. Where is he hiding? Asked the BFG. We'll come to that later, Sophie said. So the Queen dreams her dream, right? Right, said the BFG. Then she wakes up and the first thing she thinks is, oh, what a horrid dream. I'm so glad it was only a dream. And then she looks up from her pillow and what does she see? What does she see? The BFG asked. She sees a little girl called Sophie sitting on her windowsill, right there in real life before her very eyes. How is you going to be sitting on the Queen's windowsill, may I beg? The BFG said. You are going to put me there, Sophie said. And that's the lovely part about it. If someone dreams that there is a little girl sitting on her windowsill, and then she wakes up and she sees the little girl really is there, well, the dream will not come true, no? I was beginning to see where you was driving to, the BFG said. If the Queen is knowing that part of her dream is true, then perhaps she is believing the rest of it is true as well. That's about it, Sophie said, but I shall have to convince her of that myself. You said you was wanting the dream to say that there is a big friendly giant who is also wanting to talk to the Queen. Absolutely, Sophie said. You must. You are the only one who can tell her where to find the other giants. How is I meeting the Queen? Asked the BFG. Aya's not wanting to be shooted at by her soldiers. The soldiers are only in front of the palace, Sophie said. At the back there is a huge garden and there are no soldiers in there at all. There's a very high wall with spikes on it around the garden to stop people climbing in, but you can simply walk over that. How is you knowing all of this about the Queen's Palace? The BFG asked. Last year, I was in a different orphanage, Sophie said. It was in London and we used to go for walks all around there. Is you helping me to find this palace? The BFG asked. I has never dared to go and hide and sneaking around London in my life. I'll show you the way, Sophie said confidently. But I's frightened of London, said the BFG. Don't be, Sophie said. It's full of dark, tiny streets, and there are very few people about in the witching hour. The BFG picked Sophie up between one finger and a thumb and placed her gently in the palm of his hand. Is the Queen's Palace very big? He asked. Huge, Sophie said. Then how is we finding the right bedroom? That's up to you, Sophie said. You're supposed to be an expert at that sort of thing.